الآن إلى آخر قصة في حلقة اليوم، وهي عن سامي يوسف الفنان البريطاني اللي هو أصلا من أصول شرقية، اللي وعد محبيه بإطلالة فريدة ولأول مرة في دبي تحت عنوان تمجيد. وهذا العرض طبعا مستوحى من نفحات شعرية لسمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم.
بالتأكيد. كاميرا MBC تفردت بلقاء حصري معه، لكن السؤال: ماذا قال عن حياته؟ ماذا قال عن فنه؟ ماذا عن التعاونات الجديدة المستقبلية؟ التفاصيل في هذا التقرير.
أنا فقير لله بداية.
أنا عبد ربي له قدرات.
حلمي أن أكون إلهام لشباب يعرفون أن الجذور مهم جدا، والثقافة مهم جدا، أصول مهم جدا.
يا رسول الله يا شيء مدينة.
صنف كأشهر بريطاني مسلم في العالم، وصل إلى العالمية بزمن قياسي، ولكن وبحديث قصير يمكنكم أن تشعروا بعدم اكتراثه للشهرة، فكل ما يريده هو مساحة أكبر للتعبد والذكر، فالكلمة هي سلاحه. سامي يوسف، ما قصته؟ What's the point that you actually believe that this is the changing point of my life? I will follow us.
The turning point for me as a professional singer was the release of Al-Mu'allim, my first song, professionally produced song as a singer. Because before that I was producing, I was arranging, producing, and I started doing this at a very young age, 14, 15. I was doing it professionally. And I very quickly became disillusioned with the environment of music. The industry of music was like any other industry, but perhaps a little bit more toxic because there are emotions involved and it's very messy industry. So as I became more spiritual and more, you can say, more practicing, observant, I decided this is not really for me, this industry, and I wanted to study law at King's College. However, 9/11 had happened, and it was a very awkward time. And friends of mine came and they said, listen, before you go off and you study law and you leave this all together, you have a nice voice, you know, just release one album, a devotional album for the Prophet Muhammad. Just release one album and then do whatever you want to do. And lo and behold, we release, and here we are 15 years later.
He was Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Muhammad, mercy upon mankind.
You know, I count it a blessing to have my Eastern roots, Azeri, Persian roots, and that European, British side. And I focus on the beauty that each civilization has to offer. You know, there's so much beauty and goodness, and my music is certainly a mixture of all these different experiences and backgrounds, yes.
عندما يندم الشاعر الشيخ محمد بن راشد المكتوم بصوت سامي يوسف، لابد أن يكون الوليد تميزاً.
I'm so honored to be performing a brand new piece here at this beautiful venue, this iconic venue in Dubai. Words written by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. You know, His Highness is somebody I admire personally. I've never sung anyone's poem before, except if it's a songwriter and it's co-writing, because I usually write my own words. But honestly, first of all, I was deeply honored, and secondly, when I read the poem, this particular one, Glorification, it struck a chord. It was so beautiful. The Arabic was so beautiful. Even with my limited Arabic, the sounds and the wazn, you know, and it was clearly following a meter, and it was so beautifully written. And the English translation was, you know, the final. And when I read the English translation, I thought, this is beautiful and it has to be made into a song. It was like a calling. music is such a powerful force that really, if you look at history from the classical periods and classical Western music, you know, when we look at Napoleon Bonaparte, for example, Beethoven composed something for him, and the effects it had politically. Sayyid Darwish, the effect that it had in his time in Egypt at a very basic social level. It's profound. It's a very powerful force, and a lot of good can be done with it, because I consider music not just, you know, there's an entertainment dimension, sure, but there's also a science to it, and it needs respect.
So if there's someone now watching you, he has a talent, but don't know what to do with it, what would you tell him?
I tell them to continue believing in themselves, don't let people put you down, cultivate your talent, continue and remember the adab of music, which is missing in our day and age. Unfortunately, due to the period and the confusing time, some aspects of the modern world, you know, everything has become a lot of things have become quite shallow and commercialized, and the adab is missing. That is more important than talent. Talent without the adab and the etiquette can lead to, you know, a very dangerous place.
صلوا عليه شفيع الأمة بذكر الرسول تشحذ الهمة يا ربي بجاه النبي أزكرنا.
جمعيته الخيرية هي حلمه الذي تحول إلى واقع. فما هي أهدافه؟
I'm going to be focusing very hard for the next year, inshallah, to support talent, to support young musicians, artists, creative people, because if there's one thing I'm sure about, there's an unbelievable amount of talent in this region, whether it's in the UAE, whether it's in Egypt, Bahrain, Qatar, or just the whole region, Saudi Arabia, or Algeria. The Arab world, the Muslim world and Arab world in this region is just, you know, fertile ground for talent. It is just, inshallah, remarkable youth who are so talented and so engaged. Hear the reed, for it has stories to tell. And the reed here really is the human being who is in spiritual exile. Just as the ney laments to go back to its source, human beings are also lamenting.
The world will sleep, hunger will not wait, for promises we